This episode is brought to you by San Pellegrino Ciao. A gift from Italy to your home. San Pellegrino Ciao is a flavored sparkling water made with real fruit juice, finished with a pinch of Sicilian salt for a perfectly balanced taste. So which flavor will you choose? Peach, lime, blood orange, cherry, or maybe the all-new limoncello? Crafted in Italy with 0 grams of added sugar. San Pellegrino Ciao. Buy it now.
Adobe Firefly is the all-in-one creative studio with AI-powered image and video editing for today's creative process. Built for creators of every kind, Firefly helps you generate, edit, and experiment fast. Because the asks aren't getting smaller, the budgets aren't getting bigger, and the timelines, oh yeah, still tight. With all the best creative AI models in one place, Firefly brings your ideas to life. Unlock a better way to make with Adobe Firefly.
You listen to this program, you know that the Police Athletic League, PAL, saved my life. When I was hungry during summer camp, PAL fed us. Gave us 2 shirts for summer camp and our green little tote bags. I'll always remember that. PAL kept me off the streets here in New York City. I was a PAL kid even before they built the big center at 183rd and Webster Avenue in the Bronx. No PAL, no me. And as was predicted in my case, without PAL, I would have been dead or in jail. With me now is Dr. Steve Coan, who is the president and CEO of the National Association of Police Athletic Leagues, National PAL, and in his role, he oversees over 300 chapters across the country. Mr. Coan, thank you so much for joining us. Let's start by, I want you to tell the audience a little bit of what PAL does.
Well, Dominic, thank you very much. And your story really explains what PAL does, your experience of growing up as a young person in need of all sorts of services, but mostly support and mentoring. What PAL does is connect kids and cops. That's what we do at the core. And in doing that, we provide mentoring, we provide food, housing, all sorts of services, a lot of sports activities, STEM programs. PAL is a comprehensive organization that works at the local level. The New York City PAL is one of the strongest in the nation. In fact, it's the oldest in the nation. It was started in 1914.
Wow. 1914. So I know firsthand why PAL is important, and that's why I wanted you here with me today. How many states is the Police Athletic League involved with?
So we're in all 50 states.
Fantastic. So now, under your new leadership as the board chair, well, the president and CEO, you're starting many new initiatives. One of them for the children happens to deal with mental illness. I think a program called GRIT. Is that correct?
Yes. So GRIT stands for Growth Mindset, Resiliency, Initiative, and Tenacity. It's a mental wellness program, and it is designed to meet the needs of today's kids. Coming out of COVID, we still see, and nobody likes to talk about COVID anymore, which is fine, but the residual effects on kids continue. So many kids still isolate. Our school attendance rates nationwide remain lower than they were pre-pandemic. Kids don't necessarily know how to socialize, or many kids don't know how to socialize. You know, we assume that all kids want to play sports. They probably do, but many kids haven't learned the basic skills of sports. So GRIT is designed to reach the mental wellness needs of kids today. There are high rates of depression among kids. Again, isolation is part of this, a part of the reason for this. So GRIT is designed to provide kids with the resources to, bounce back, deal with their own issues. It's not the same as clinical help, of course. But one of the things that it does is also provide mental health first aid so that other kids can or any kid can begin to recognize, the signs of someone in distress. And it basic skills like listening, basic skills like knowing when to escalate a situation. But the sum and substance of this, Dominic, is PAL nationwide is working to reach today's kids in new and different ways. Dealing with mental wellness is one of the most important. Working on technology-oriented programs and getting kids out of their house and socializing is extraordinarily important.
Well, we are chatting with the president and CEO of the National Association of the Police Athletic League, Dr. Steve Coan. And Dr. Coan, you just touched my heart because, and I'm being as real with you as real can get without going into details. I just wish the mental health component had been around when I was a child, because many of the kids that you serve have gone through tremendous trauma, like myself. Yes. Many of the kids you serve carry secrets, like I did, that you don't want, that need to be dealt with, and no child should have to bear the burden of these things alone. So it's phenomenal what you're doing for the children nationwide. So you're involved, of course, you have involved a lot of the professional sports leagues. So, for example, you're working with the New York Knicks, is that correct?
Yeah, we just had, the New York City PAL we just had a wonderful event, actually, at your old PAL. I know the building wasn't there, you said, when you were a kid.
Right,
but, in the Bronx PAL just remodeled the game room, which is a beautiful space, has, video games, but also traditional games. Another way to really connect kids, get them engaged. That was sponsored by the New York Knicks, and we had a great event there with some of the former Knicks players, the commissioner of basketball. So that was last week. It was a fantastic event.
Wonderful.
One of the things I wanted to mention to you along lines of what you said, the reason why we're about cops and kids is because law enforcement officers are often the first responders to domestic issues, the first responders who see kids in need. PAL was started, and PAL continues to be a way for officers to help kids. And that's extremely important. We work in places and neighborhoods that are, as you said, often very tough places where kids have been traumatized. Maybe kids continue to be traumatized by one thing or the other. And so PAL is about getting them the help that they need, the support that they need to thrive. But law enforcement officers are critical in helping kids because, again, they're the ones who see need up front.
Absolutely. So you're also working with the NHL, I believe, hockey and NASCAR. Those are direct ways to resonate with children, to get their full attention, undivided attention. What's the NHL doing, and how about NASCAR?
Yeah, thank you. So, as you say, these are opportunities to lift kids up. To have the opportunity to be part of something bigger than what they have been or what they're used to, it's really important. So we're bringing in NASCAR and the NHL and other major league sports, the NFL, to work with all of our chapters on programming for kids, and also to give them opportunities, not just for it's important to give them opportunities to go to games. Some of the PAL kids in New York had the opportunity to go to the finals with the Knicks. What a tremendous opportunity. They would never have had that opportunity.
Wait a minute, Dr. Coan. I didn't hear you correctly. I know I didn't hear you correctly. These tickets have cost $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. And did I just hear you correctly? You said some of the PAL children got to go to the NBA finals with the Knicks?
They did. A lot of thanks to the New York Knicks for making that happen, and to other individuals who made it happen. I know one story, for example, where an individual gave up 2 tickets to the finals for a young man, an 8th grader, who have worked very hard on a lot of different things around the PAL, really, really wanted to go. And through the generosity of one individual, he was able to go with his mentor.
You know, Dr. Coan, the reason why this is so important, and this is as personal to me as personal gets. When I had nothing growing up in the Bronx, being raised by my grandmother, PAL, you know, based on what I do for a living today in media, PAL, the Police Athletic League, gave me my first exposure to television. In terms of, you sent me and other kids to a very popular TV show, children's show called Wonderama, hosted by Bob McAllister. I walked into that studio. I was a contestant in one of the contests. I had to push a peanut with my nose. And that's when I decided at such a young, on a carpet, so it was tough. But that's when I decided at a young age that that's what I wanted to do. So when you're talking about sending kids to the finals with the Knicks, you're changing their lives forever. I still remember that PAL had enough faith in me to put me on the citywide chess team. These are things that kids, particularly kids of color, Black and Latino, but all children, remember for the rest of their lives, and it can decide whether or not they succeed or go on to great things.
Yes, absolutely. And what a great story. And again, you tell it really much better than I can, with the impact of PAL. But you're absolutely right. The more we provide opportunities to kids, we open windows. We open windows for them to see the world and see a better future, and to see alternatives to, bad stuff that is happening in the world.
Right. You know, so much is made, and I report on it, how these kids are out there wilding, acting a fool, acting like, doing things in fast food restaurants that no one should do. But my point is, I can almost guarantee you that kids that are part of PAL, they're not doing these crazy things out in the street because they know structure. They know there's a better way. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I absolutely would. One study shows that was done about PAL shows that in areas where PAL exists, neighborhoods where PAL exists, there's been an average of 20% drop in crime in those areas, in youth crime in those areas versus, other neighborhoods where it actually increased. That was a study that was done a few years back, but it's valid today. I mean, the reality is PAL saves kids, as you said. PAL saves kids. And part of saving kids is to keep them away from the bad things that are out there. And today, that includes bad things that are happening in cyberspace, as well as, some of the unique things that we see today, such as takeovers on the streets or in malls, or the kind of thing that you were just talking about.
And so we are chatting. I'm wrapping up now with Dr. Steve Coan, who's the president and CEO of the National Police Athletic League Association. The most important question, because I know the work that PAL does. For people listening, many of our listeners often want to donate. How can they help PAL? How could they contact you or the Police Athletic Association?
Yeah, the best way to thank you, Dominic. I appreciate that. And the best way to reach us is at our website, which is nationalpal.org, nationalpal.org. And if you want to donate directly to the New York City PAL, we'll make sure that happens if you just let us know. Because what you're doing in New York with the PAL, what PAL folks are doing, is just tremendous. And we're very proud to be affiliated with New York City PAL and to have them as a member of National PAL.
So, Dr. Coan, I'm short on time, but I have to close this way. Why do you do what you do in terms of helping children, in terms of giving back? Why do you do what you do?
Well, great question. Because I care about kids and because I had a similar experience growing up, and there were people there for me who cared about me and who helped me to live, and ultimately helped me to thrive, and that's why.
Well, we thank you very much. This topic near and dear to my heart. I will die a very proud PAL kid, hopefully 100 years from now, but PAL is in my blood. We were just chatting with Dr. Steve Coan, who's the president and CEO of the National Association of the Police Athletic League, involved in every state. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Dominic.